Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Number one, as to the recent apparent attempt on President Trump's life, I do want to thank the Secret Service agents on the ground for acting quickly and responsibly. But when I heard the acting director say the system worked, I could not disagree more. It did not work. You can't have a man camped out by the golf course for 12 hours with an AK-47 and scope on it and say the system worked. We're just very fortunate he stuck the barrel through the fence before the president got to the golf hole in question. I want to applaud the Secret Service agent who saw the barrel, but this could have been a completely different story if the man had just waited, saw President Trump, then acted. The system is just broken. I don't know if it's resources. I asked the acting director before. He said they're fine. I don't buy that. Agents tell me they're working tremendous hours. I'd like to have more agents, not less. I'd like to get the Secret Service back into Treasury where they were more focused. But we'll talk about that another day. I'm just glad we didn't have a worse outcome, but I think the system is broken. As to our hearing today, on May the 2nd, 2024, all Republicans wrote a letter to Chairman Durbin. We implore you to promptly hold a Judiciary Committee hearing to confront the flagrant civil rights violations targeting Jewish students on college campuses across America and to expose the radical Islamic ideology infiltrating our universities. The goal was to have a hearing about why it's so hard to go to school if you're Jewish. And it is really hard to go to these schools if you're Jewish. You're being knocked down, you're being spat on. It is just completely out of control. This is not the hearing we're getting, so we'll work with what we've got. The House has had 10 hearings focused on anti-Semitism, on the rise like it was in the 30s, in my view. We're not talking about fringe elements within any one group or crazy people. They exist throughout society. What happened to the 6-year-old is just horrible. The man will get whatever comes his way, and to me, it's not enough. I'm trying to focus on a systematic problem. America has a systematic problem on college campuses. It is being funded, the DNI says, not by Qatar, but by Iran. So we have to deal with this. This committee should act not just in general, but specifically about what it's like to be Jewish in America in 2024. And it is not a good story. So I want to introduce into the record the original request, if I may, and also introduce in the record a letter I've got from the Union of Jewish Congregation of Americans. If I may introduce both letters, Mr. Chairman.
Without objection.
Okay. Now, the problem is really unnerving. 2.4% of Americans are Jewish. 60% of all religious-based hate crimes have been directed against the Jewish people. There's something going on here that needs to be addressed and better dealt with, and people in charge of these universities need to be held more accountable. As to what I'm trying to do, I've been working since last April with the Biden administration to find a way to normalize between Saudi Arabia and the state of Israel. That, to me, is the answer to many problems that we face, Israel faces, and I'm a strong advocate for ending the Arab-Israeli conflict. And a beneficiary of that would be a Palestinian community better treated, not run by terrorists, with a more hopeful life and a secure Israel. Count me in for trying to end conflict. Count me in for trying to reconcile the Arab and Jewish communities in the Mideast and anywhere else. That's not what I'm talking about today. I'm talking about a rise throughout the world, but particularly here, against the Jewish people. Examples of what you face: Columbia University in Fada, Stanford University, somebody wearing a Hamas headband, Princeton University, the Hamas material. Union Station, July the 24th. Hamas is coming. This is all over the country right now. And let me just say this. Hamas is a homicidal terrorist group dedicated not to uplifting the Palestinian people, but destroying the state of Israel. So when you write Hamas, you're either one of two things: blatantly anti-Semitic or dumb as a rock. I'll let you pick. Hamas is a terrorist organization. Everybody should condemn Hamas, not use their name routinely and hold up their cause throughout college campuses on America. So what I hope we can get started in this country is a conversation about what should be the result of attending a school and being picked upon simply because of your religion, in this case, being Jewish. The next one. One of our witnesses says, calling for the genocide of the state of Israel should not get you disciplined. It should. It should. You know, when David Duke was on colleges' campuses in his time handing out Nazi stuff, he should have been disciplined. I disagree with that. I believe in free speech, but I don't believe advocating for the killing of an entire class of people. That's not free speech. So what we have before us today as a nation is a moment of choosing. We can choose to ignore this, lump it in with every other problem we got in the country, or we can focus on it. I prefer to focus on it. I prefer to let the American Jewish community know enough is enough. We're going to be there for you. We're going to have your back. And we're not rising to the occasion. I would urge my friends on the other side, let's have a hearing focused on this problem, not lumping this problem in with every other problem we have. This is unique to the time in which we live. It is getting out of control. As to rhetoric, yeah, we can all do better. I get that. But this idea that one group is going to destroy America or one person's going to destroy America needs to come to an end. Nobody's going to destroy America. The Iranians would, if they could. So, Mr. Chairman, I hope we can follow up with another hearing focused on our original request, which is combating anti-Semitism on college campuses, making it really difficult if you're a Jewish parent to send your kid to college.
Senator Graham, you and I agree on more than we disagree. And we certainly agree that hate crimes should be treated seriously, whatever their origin, whatever their purpose. They are unacceptable in this nation of ours. Prioritizing which group is being discriminated against the worst, I don't believe is a valid exercise of our authority here. What we are trying to do is to identify a problem in America that extends beyond Jewish population to the Arab population, to the Palestinian population. All of those hate crimes are unacceptable. All of them are unacceptable. The letter which you asked me to enter into the record calls on us to pass a bill that I know of quite well, the Domestic Terrorism Prevention Act. That bill passed the House of Representatives. It was called by Senator Schumer in the Senate. It's a bill that I sponsored. It was stopped on the floor and filibustered by the Republican side. I don't want to draw a conclusion about their views on hatred and violence, but I think we all ought to acknowledge the fact that work needs to be done and we shouldn't tie ourselves in knots, but should work toward ending hate crimes in America. At this point, we're going to turn to the witnesses who appeared before